So, hi guys, welcome to Rage Against the Dice. This is part 3 of our how to build a Lord of the Ringsy style hill. As you can see, I sprayed it black and then I sprayed it grey. I tried to get it darker in places, lighter in others to give me some kind of shades. I think that was fairly successful. You guys might beg to differ. As you can see, we're getting heavy into the terrain building at the moment. I was asked about one thing, which is these. There's some of these places where I've just sealed it with PVA, not with any kind of sand or anything like that. So it's got this bobbly effect. And I was asked if I did that on purpose. I did, and the reason was I wanted it to look like it was crumbling rock. So I don't know if I've got the effect that I wanted, and I won't really know until I've done the painting and the dry brushing. But I'm hoping that I have. And only time will tell, really, realistically. So, to paint it, what I'm going to use is Luftwaffe grey, and then I'm going to mix some white in with it. Now, people keep asking me why I use really expensive Vallejo paints to do these kind of scenery, and it's mainly because of the dropper bottles. Because with dropper bottles, you can just squeeze out what you need, whereas the Games Workshop ones are a pain in the bum. Plus the fact that I got loads and loads and loads of Vallejo paints for nothing. I was given them by someone who was getting out the hobby, and they were like, I just don't want them anymore. You can have them if you want. And anybody who turns down Vallejo paints is silly. Especially if they're free, because, well, I'm British, and British people don't turn down free stuff, ever anyway. Yeah, so I'm just mixing up a consistency that I'm comfortable with. There's no specific consistency that I'm needing to go for, or specific thickness or anything like that, or colouring. I just need it lighter than the grey that's already here. And I'm just going to use a normal decorating style brush, mix up a side of paint, and then, as I said, I'm just going to dry brush. It doesn't have to be neat or anything like that. A lot of people sort of think that it's scenery, you'd have to put the same care and attention that you would into your models. You still obviously need to put some care and attention into it, but not nearly as much. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly grab some kitchen roll, because I realised I'd forgotten that. Because this is far too much paint to be able to use my hand as a palette like I do when I'm painting, so I'm going to get as much of this off as I can. And then just going to dry brush lightly. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go around this, and I'm going to time lapse it so that it's not as boring for you guys. So let me get this sorted and then we'll get on with it. So, what I did was, obviously, I dry brushed it with a grey. I then added some more white to it for a second dry brush, and then I did just a very, very light dry brush of just white, which is what I was showing you before. Now, the next thing I'm going to do, I'm just picking out a few more bits, is I'm going to make up a bit of a wash, which I'm going to sponge on in places. Now that wash is going to be a mix of Null Oil and Agrax Earthshade. So I'm going to get that all set up now and show you it, and then I'm going to show you how I sponge it on and explain sort of the purposes of that. So I've got myself here a little cup. Now because my Null Oil is about to run out, I'm just going to use all the Null Oil that's left. And you just pour that in. Or if you're using a brush or something else, you just... But basically what you need is you need about the same of each. So about the same of Agrax as you would be using for the Null Oil. So like a 50-50 mix. And then what I like to do is I like to take some Bealtan green. So I'm just going to find my Bealtan green. Because I thought I got it out and I realised I hadn't. I've got a different green out. And there it is. And you just need the tiniest little drop. And you'll get just an old brush that you don't use for anything else. Mix it all together. I've only used this because it was the first cup to hand. What I would advise is you don't use a cup like this. Now, I'm using deionized water, but you don't have to. This is just some deionized water I keep in this bottle. And I'm adding just a little drop. Just about that. So, the recipe really is 2 parts Null Oil, 2 parts Agrax Earthshade, 1 part Bealtan green, and then about 3 parts water. So you want it to be quite watery, and it will take a while to dry, but as long as you know that, you're safe. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get this all set up and mixed up, and then I'm going to show you how to apply it. I just use a bit of sponge. I like to rip off a bit of sponge because it gives it like a roughy sort of textury thing. It's just a personal preference, I guess, but I'll be back in a second and we'll get this sorted. So I've got my mixture mixed up now, and I'm just going to drop my sponge in it, soak all that out, and then I'm just dabbing it on places. You don't want it too thick. If you've left some bubbly bits like I did, thicker on those bits, what I'm going to do is I'm going to time lapse it because it's quicker and better for you guys. So, right, here you have it. Now, you may have wondered before, certain places the dry brushing of the white and the greys were thicker. Other places they were much sort of lighter. You can see as I've dotted this on that it's pulled it all together a lot better. You can see places like that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to wait for this to dry. Now, if you use polystyrene like I did, and you got that bubbly effect, which is something I wanted, you'll notice how, once I've added the washers on, it looks more rocky. Now you can see the bits of the green as well for the algae in there. Now, everything I do when I'm doing scenery and stuff is kind of all experimental. The stuff I've tried and the stuff I'll try again. But if I'm making something like this, I'll always try and do new bits or try new things just to see if I can get something I'm really happy with. And that's kind of what I'm doing here with this. I've got it to a stage that I'm happy with for now. So what I'm going to do at this stage is I'm going to leave this all to dry. And on part 4, we're going to finish it off, which is doing the browns, doing the grasses, and showing you those little finishing touches. So I hope you guys are still following on and you're still enjoying these videos. Because God knows, they've been long and I accept that. But that was the reason I wanted to split them up into multiple parts. What I would advise is and there will be a warning at the start of this, watch this full video before you start doing things, because you might find that you want to do certain bits in different orders, like with the washes and things like that. You might want to do those between each of the greys. I like to do it right at the end because it pulls it all and ties it all together. What I will do as one last thing is I'll spray this whole thing with my watered down PVA mix to seal it, and I tend to do that after each little bit. So I'll do that after I do the greys, and then I'll do it after the browns, then I'll do it once I put the static grasses and phlox on to finish it off. But no, at this stage, that is all done, or to the level that I want it to be at. Any of you wondering why I actually left the washer and dryer and stuff on for this whole thing, it's because I've got stuff in the kitchen, like scenery-wise, that I'm wanting the heat from those to dry it, so I had to make that compromise. But yeah, thank you guys for watching so much. We're kind of getting there, as you can see, and hopefully we'll have this finished in the next part, and then you can see the two of them side by side. But as always, thank you guys for watching. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, give us a comment down below so you know if you like this type of content, whether you want to see something different. I know we haven't been doing much in the way of battle reports for a while, but that's because I'm just about to start a new job, and Alan has just been really busy because it's after the Christmas period and such like that. And when you're a janitor of a school, as he is, or is he, it gets busy after Christmas. But no, as always, guys, pray the dice gods, hope they smile upon you, and thank you very much for watching. Take care.